Hello and welcome to Gorilla and the Geek, the podcast for sweaty nerds by sweaty nerds who happen to be social distancing. My name is Kyle from Geeks Weekly, and I'm here with my good friend John the Ginger Gorilla. John, how you doing on this fine Saturday afternoon?
I'm doing well. Um, this is our time to thrive, Kyle. Right? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we've been
get right
talking
into
about it
it.
for a while.
This is it, right? So we're all nerds here. Everyone who listens to this, we consider our geeks. We're nerds. We're friends. We're sweaties, right? And what better time for sweaties than staying home, watching content, creating content, just content general, content heavy, all by your lonesome. I mean, was this virus spread to create uber nerds? That's my conspiracy theory for the week, folks. This virus was spread so that we could thrive, right? Now I don't know which of these sweaties created it, but kind of wild.
I know, and you can expect. I'll speak for myself. You can expect a little bit more content from me on my social media platforms because I have so much more time now. I might even be able to do more analyses. My next one will be coming out on Monday, or well, today if you're
Yeah,
listening to this
yeah.
the day it comes out.
So just to
Um,
clarify, sorry, Kyle.
go
Real
ahead,
quick,
no.
we're recording this on March 21st, 2020, right? We're in the midst of the coronavirus. We just actually, me and Kyle live in New Jersey, and our governor just announced 2 hours ago that we, starting tonight, we're on first show stay-at-home orders. Um,
Which is good.
yes, which is good because hashtag flatten the curve. Um, so that's just a reference. But this podcast will come out Monday morning, as always, which will be the 23rd. And you guys will be listening to this sometime after that, right? So obviously, if anything crazy happens within the next day and a half, we don't really have it covered here, but I doubt that. But yeah, so going with that, Kyle, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, no worries. I'm going to have a new analysis video appearing today in regards to when this podcast releases. It'll be a analysis on the character of Superman and why he is still relevant to modern audiences.
And let me
Um,
tell you, I got a sneak peek of it, and oh boy, is it tantalating. Titillizing? Titillizing?
no idea. Either way, whatever T word you're trying to use, thank you very much, brother.
Tremendous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Um, and
Wow.
yeah, so I just like, and I mean, I know John has been doing some longer streams this week. I don't know if
Yes,
it's going to be a
yes.
continued thing. I
I
imagine it
mean,
will
I
be.
have nothing but time on my hands, folks.
Yep. So yeah, it's kind of where we are at in terms of a content production
Yes.
standpoint. I think for now we didn't talk about this off the air, so I think for now
Mm-mm.
we're still going to keep with the every 2 weeks format of the podcast.
Unless we have something crazy to talk about next weekend. Because also given the facts of what we talk about, folks, like movies and video games. Right now, it's not going to be the craziest, but um, over this next week, which I don't know if you're going to be talking about this at all today. Um, some movies will be releasing at home for home view,
Yeah, yeah, that's one
and
of the things I wanted to discuss actually.
maybe next week we'll have a quick conversation on that if it's something that we both get to sit down and watch, which I'm assuming we will, and something that we both have strong opinions and feelings on. But
Yeah, for sure.
we will see.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
yeah, go
should we
ahead,
just get
jump.
right into it?
Let's do it.
All right. So, John actually brought up what I wanted to discuss this week. Uh, in terms of the movie world, the coronavirus has kind of shaken it down to its core. A lot of big movies, a lot of big budget movies, especially, have been delayed. Some of them seemingly for the rest of the year, uh, because no one can go out to see these films, and no one's working at movie theaters now. It's actually kind of nuts. This has really been a big hit to the movie space. However, Universal is starting the trend of releasing movies through streaming services. Now, I'm not sure if through streaming services is the correct terminology. Maybe just through streaming websites to where you'd have to pay to watch. And I know what some of you may be thinking. Uh, you don't want to pay for stuff. You're not working, whatever the case may be. You don't like to pay for streaming movies, anyways. I'll say this: it's better to just buy the movie, stream it legally, because if we do so, if we show these movie studios that we are willing to pay for the movies like we do normally, even though it's a slightly bigger upcharge because we're watching it in the comfort of our own homes. If we show them that we're willing to pay for movies like that, I imagine more studios will get behind this idea and will get more releases this year rather than just having no new releases for the rest of the year. I That's my viewpoint on it. John, what about you?
I agree. I think it's something that now I'm not saying there's no workarounds, right? Take that for what it's worth to you. In terms of getting the content you want to see, there's probably going to be workarounds for all of it. But as Kyle said, we need to support these companies right now. Look, they're huge companies. May they be hurting and they might get bailed out or so on and so forth, right? Do we all agree on what the government might help them with or might not help them with? Whatever. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is we want content, and the only way to get more content is by showing that these companies that it's worth putting out the content, right? And we have all these movies that now we have to wait, as we said, indefinitely for. We don't know when they're going to come out. So if you show them that, hey, we like watching movies at home, we'll pay for these movies, right? Look, if you have a family, right? Or if you have roommates, split the cost of it. And it won't be that bad. And then you have this movie that you get to enjoy, and it will bring light to something in a time where there's really not much. I was talking to my mom earlier. Everything on TV right now or podcasts that we listen to is coronavirus this, coronavirus that. And I'm not saying that we're much better here over at Girl and the Geek, but right now it's just everything is focused on this one thing. It's politics, coronavirus, right?
It's depressing, to be honest.
Getting these movies in your life will cheer you up a little bit. It'll give you some different from your day-to-day monotony, because it's going to get monotonous, folks. Staying at home and just doing the same crap over and over again is going to get tedious and boring, for a lack of better terms, right? So these movies could be something that we need, right? And if they're already in post-production, if they're already put out and they're supposed to launch, the only way we're going to get them is if we show them in this first initial run with a couple movies. I think, Kyle, what movies were supposed to be coming out this week?
So this week, The Hunt is one that I know you wanted to watch.
Yes.
And the big one that I wanted to watch this week was Invisible Man.
I want to see that one too. I think, but the thing is, both of these look like they could be very good movies, right? Now, am I saying Oscar worthy? No. Am I saying the best movies possible, like cinematic masterpieces? Not necessarily, right? Invisible Man looks like it could have great performances in it, actually.
For sure.
But both these movies will be something so different from what we're getting out of our media right now, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to bring so much life to your world around you, and break up that, as we said, monotony. So
and there's a family-friendly movie out.
Onward.
Onward, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited! Yeah, because I saw Disney Plus is doing this, right?
I forgot about that.
So also Onward or Upward or Onward, right?
It's called Onward.
Onward, not Upward. That's Up and this genre, their crossover movie in the future. Onward, they're releasing on Disney Plus, and it's going to be a pay-per-view-esque model, right? So you pay for it, and then you have it on your Disney Plus account, which I think that's going to do gangbusters, right?
For sure, I think it's a smart way to go.
Because that's as you said, family-friendly, and kids are going to get bored of watching Mulan for the 700th time. Not the real Mulan, obviously, because that's not out yet. But so they have something new, and I think that one's going to skyrocket. The other two is what we need to put support in, but that one is going to do wonders. But this could also bring light to maybe a new way of watching movies. Now, I'm not saying kill movie theaters, right?
Please no.
No,
Please.
Because there's nothing like being in a movie theater and having that experience, that theater experience. Well, for us at least, right? I mean, I'm a sweaty, you're a sweaty. I'm assuming the people listening to this would also enjoy the same thing.
There's plenty of people out there who are like us and enjoy the experience of going to the cinema.
Plus, most of us can't pay for extreme home theaters, so you're not going to get the quality that you would get there, right?
No.
But it's a nice alternative to have, maybe. Even if they do some, I don't know, maybe quicker releases or even smaller movies have short run, or independent movies will get put out this way maybe more. So we have them. But
kind of like with Marriage Story and with The Irishman.
Exactly, and it
They
goes back
both
to,
released in theaters first, and then came to streaming services right away.
and they were both apparently good movies because I haven't watched either of them yet.
Please do.
Hey,
Please do. You
uh,
got time now.
yeah, I'm going to. I have a list of things I'm watching, but unfortunately,
Nice.
you got me addicted to something wild right now.
Oh, by the way, so here's one genre of film that I think could do well in terms of being put out in this new age way, if you want to call it that. What if they started releasing kids' movies more so like this? Because I know for me, I like watching quote unquote kids' movies, aka animated movies.
Yes,
However,
going to
as you
theater.
know, I am very much not a fan of hearing children around me while a movie's on. I don't like hearing babies crying and stuff.
As you know, I hate when my movie gets interrupted by a baby crying. You know, maybe I'm not like everybody, but I personally hate it.
Fair. So if animated movies released more like this, parents wouldn't feel bad bringing their kids to the movie theaters anymore because they
Yeah.
could just watch the movies at home, or people like myself could enjoy these movies from the comfort of my own home while knowing that I'm not going to have crying kids around me. I think that's pretty beneficial.
I think it would do wonders for that genre specifically, right? Now, I'm not saying it would. I mean, other genres it might work for also, but I think like you said, child movies or younger kids movies, I think it would do wonders for because, it will get the kids a movie that they would want to watch, and you don't have to interrupt anyone. You don't have to worry about, oh, my kid wants to go to the bathroom. The kid wants to get up and do things. You could pause it. You could come back to it. You could watch it in bursts. You could have snack time in the middle of it, so on and so forth, right? Because kids' attention spans aren't all that long,
For sure.
right? So I think that could be wonderful. I mean, it would work amazingly, I think. But yeah, wow, that was a really good point.
Thanks.
Crap, I had something else I want to say about that. Oh, as referenced before, I'm addicted to My Hero Academia right now. Only a couple episodes in the first season, but Kyle got me addicted to it I had a short run with it, watched one episode, didn't fully give it a chance, and then today I ended up watching 5 more episodes, and I'm
Nice.
Yeah, I'm fully into it. I'm on so yeah, I'm very excited that I have something to do because I finished all the podcasts for this week that I've been listening to, and now I have this to watch. So that's
Shout out My Hero Academia.
Yeah, it's very exciting. But yeah, I'm now my question is the price point for these movies, right?
Yes.
Did we say it was like $20?
Yeah, I believe it's 20 for each one.
How do you feel about that price point?
So this might be an unpopular opinion. I understand the price point because a regular movie ticket is what, around $13-14
Yeah.
at our local theater.
Yes.
At some AMC theaters, the one
It
by
could
us,
be 20.
it's closer to 20. I think it's like 16,
Yeah.
$17. And so with this, I'm not sure how the distribution model works in terms of studios having to pay movie theaters a certain percentage of their movies. I know that they do in terms of box office sales. They're losing all that now.
Yeah.
And they need a way to recoup their money. There's also a bigger possibility of people not paying to watch these movies.
Yeah.
So the people that do pay kind of do have to pick up a little bit of the slack now.
Mhm.
And I get it because hold on, how much money did Onward cost to make? Let me just Google that real quick.
While you're doing that, I think the price point. Actually, I was kind of weary about the price point, but from what you just said, I'm actually more sold on it, and just in those couple sentences, because it makes sense that. I mean, it's really not that bad if you think about it, because I didn't think about like the movie tickets being like $13-14, right? Oh God, how much?
Wow. It said the budget is. This is from Wikipedia though, so take this with a grain of salt. Between 175 to $200 million.
Whoa! Are
So
all
that-
animated movies that expensive?
Let me check Toy Story 4.
Or do you think it was those two main leads?
Oh, those are two. Yeah, but Toy Story
Really
4
put
is
it over the edge. Yeah, good point.
Oh,
Oh, is it more or less?
yeah, 190 to 200 million.
Holy crap! Wait, I never knew animated movies were that expensive. I mean, it makes sense.
You gotta think how much time they put into making these films. They take
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the thing. Like these movies, especially these big budget movies,
Mhm.
need to be able to make their money back.
Yeah, they have to bounce back and get something out of it.
And
I
so
mean,
far, Onward has not made its money back yet.
at first I was thinking like $20, that's expensive. Do I really want to pay that for a movie? But when you think about it, if you, let's say you go to the movie theaters and you're someone who wants to buy snacks and whatnot, right? So let's say you pay $13 for a ticket, and then you want a drink and a snack. That's more than $20 right there.
Yeah,
And that's if you go by yourself, right? Now, if you're someone with a date, it could be more. And most likely, a lot of people I don't think will be watching these movies by themselves if they're ordering at home. So it's already worth it right from that point. So, I mean, order the movies, people. I mean,
I agree.
it's gonna help, and I think it could really. I mean, I think the underlying role of this whole podcast today is this virus will change everything we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Right? Not just for now, but I think for the long run. I think, and obviously, it's not just going to affect these two mediums of entertainment and video games, but these are the ones we're focusing on, and I think it's going to change them for a long run. And I think this might be one of the ways. Like, we might have more options of watching things at home. Now, do I know exactly in what sense? No, but maybe online home rentals for screenings and stuff like that. It might be a bigger market in the future because this is almost like a forced test run of it, and it could open their eyes to be like, hey, we can make money there, and you know they love to make money. Especially think about it this way: we went to go see the Joker, right? Let's just flash back. We saw Joker in the theaters. Now, the second time you go see the Joker, wouldn't it be nice to maybe rent it at home instead?
Big time.
And then you could stop at pause, and then you could stop at key points and talk about it because it's not your first run through. So maybe you and your same friends could go through again and stop, pause, talk about it, go back, boom, 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 right? I think that could be a huge thing. And like the second viewings and the third viewings, I think it would be a lot better because they're like, I know sometimes I go to the movies and I don't want to be like, okay, I want to go all the way in the movies again, so on and so forth, just to watch this movie. Even though it was great, maybe I want to see it a second time. It might be nice just to watch it from the comfort of my home. So I think this could be a big thing, and I think it could be a long-lasting thing if it's done right, and if people actually go out and do it, like I think they might.
I agree. I plan on. I know you and I want to discuss how we're gonna view this. I would like to watch Invisible Man tomorrow, so I probably will be contributing to this cause this weekend myself.
Exactly.
I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
I want to see both of those movies because I just the other one just looks fun. I'm not looking at it as like I'm going in thinking it's gonna be some kind of cheesy, right? Almost Final Fantasy-esque,
but fun.
Yes, but I think it's something that I'm looking forward to because just the premise, it's almost like Hunger Games, and my favorite type of video games, almost like a battle royale type of situation in a movie, and I love that. I love that crap. So I was sold on it as soon as I saw the premise. Do you have any more entertainment topics?
I mean, not necessarily. That's kind of the big one. There's a bigger conversation to be had in terms of like what this is going to do to like live television. What are these studios going to do? But the thing is, we don't know. Like we don't have enough information on what. Like this is an unprecedented event. This isn't anything that you and I have ever experienced in our lifetime. My mom was telling me that she's never experienced anything like this.
Yeah, I just asked my mom that too. I was like, "Hey, like, do you remember anything being like this?" And she was like, "Maybe as a kid, but I don't remember." Like, no, and it makes sense. Like, I mean, if it was to happen, I think they would be more prepared for this time. Like, if this was something that happened before, as some people may know here, back in the 1920s, something like this did happen, right? There was the Great Recession, and it was followed by a virus that kind of swept through the nation. But that was later of the 20s. Unfortunately, this century, it's happening earlier in the 20s. And here we are. So it's very interesting to see because we don't know how long we're going to be down. So productions for movies and TV shows, we don't know how long it's going to ruin everything, right? So this is going to be long-lasting results for the whole next television year, quarter, whatever, so on and so forth. And it's gonna affect TV shows the way we want them, and I don't think a lot of things are gonna be coming out anytime soon. But on the flip side, content creators online are gonna be thriving.
Yeah,
Well,
for
some
sure.
obviously some. The ones that have the stuff that they need to make at home or whatnot. I just watched another podcast I'm a fan of, H3. And they stopped doing it from their studio. Now they do it from home in their old setup. And that's just interesting. It's just cool seeing that some creators, you could still keep going and still be putting content out, like we are.
Yeah.
So it's gonna, and I think that's gonna shine a light on this type of medium. I think a lot of people are gonna fall back to this type of stuff. Maybe hop on YouTube, search for things they haven't searched for, and it might shine more light on this type of medium of entertainment, along with going into what I want to talk about, streaming video games and that type of entertainment.
And before you get into that, I just want to say
Yes.
I've watched more YouTube videos in the past 2 weeks, I think cumulatively than I have in my entire life.
That's wild. Well, given also, so Kyle was quarantining before it was cool,
Yeah, true.
due to having to be off his ankle, but so like he's just like now he's like everyone's on my level, haha.
Yeah, yeah.
Secretly, you're grinning on the inside, even though it's
Well,
a
no,
horrible thing.
it's a weird thing where like behind the scenes stuff. My John and the rest of our friends went out for my one friend's birthday. They went to paint this incredible
Peyton,
picture of like a lion and a sunset and stuff, and I didn't get to go.
yeah.
And that kind of stuff does stink,
Yeah.
having to sit home during that.
Get that
And
FOMO.
there's something oddly calming about the fact that now I'm not the only one going through it. To be
Yeah,
honest,
you're not missing out on events and stuff. It's and in a weird sense, it happened at a perfect time for you.
yeah,
Because you're down and out anyway, so you're like, hey, oh god, I have to stay home still. Like, oh no.
yeah, exactly. Oh,
but
and by the way, so the YouTube rabbit hole I went down led me to see what's happened with Amanda Bynes and Aaron
yikes.
Carter.
Yikes.
It's pretty saddening.
Speaking of which, like, I wonder, like, as we talked about this a little bit yesterday off here, obviously. But like, what changes in a childhood star? Like,
I
because
don't
you
know.
see some who do wonderful, and you see some that don't.
Yeah, and there's been like the way that they crash when they do crash and burn, it's rough. I mean, for those of you out there who don't know, Aaron Carter is the guy, or is the well now the man, but was the kid who sang "I Want Candy."
What candy? Do 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 do.
Yeah, it was a bop as a kid,
Yeah.
And Amanda Bynes was the star of the Amanda Show. She was a comedian, very successful. Had a role in Hairspray, What I Like About You, a bunch of these shows, right?
Yeah.
In movies, and they both kind of just went
Crazy.
down a bad path with drugs, psychological issues, mental health disorders, and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it seems like neither one of them is doing extremely well. Both recently got face tattoos. Aaron Carter's is massive.
Yikes.
And yeah, it's sad to see like people with such talent have such big struggles in their lives due to their talent. You know what I mean? It's like this weird thing where the thing that you're best at has caused you a lot of turmoil in your life. It's gotta be really unfortunate,
Yeah, it's rough, and it's weird to see because obviously they're not the only ones that have had crazy things. Britney Spears, right? For instance,
Yeah.
when she freaked out, shaved her head, did all that stuff. She's still, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I went down a rabbit hole with her. She's still crazy.
Really?
If you check out her Instagram, her videos that she makes, you can see that she's disconnected. I know someone's managing all her funds and all her stuff. Like, she's basically just like, okay, Brittany, we're doing this today, like, blah, blah, blah. And she just could live her life. She doesn't worry about bills. Someone pays all of it for her. Someone manages her money for her, so on and so forth. Because realistically, she can't be trusted. I know her dad used to do it. I don't know if he still does, but yeah, she's also, I don't think, doing great in the sign in mentally. But better than those other two, I think. You could think of one of our favorite actors, Shia LaBeouf.
True.
He went through. I mean, but he turned out well, right? Overall, from what we know.
Recently,
Um,
it's
yes,
gotten much better.
but he struggled with things. Demi Lovato,
Yeah.
as we all know, she has very drug abuse problems, and she has very big up and downs.
This year's
Um,
best leading actor winner, Joaquin Phoenix, had a rough time as a child actor and
he was
made
a
it through it.
child
You know,
actor?
he's oh yeah, Joaquin Phoenix has been acting since he was a kid.
Huh. Would you look at that? Oh, also, everybody's favorite, Chet Hanks. Right?
Young
So
Chetana.
I need to bring this up because that's what I want to. Oh, I went down a rabbit hole with that last night. Chetana. Block, block.
Booyaka, booyaka.
If you haven't seen that video, everyone has to go Google Chet Hanks on the red carpet right now. And then after that, Google Chet Hanks talks about Tom Hanks' coronavirus. And
Oh.
watch his two different personalities shine through, right? Because then, also, first of all, Tom Hanks has a lot of kids.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But he has a son who's 20 years older than Chet Hanks, or something
What?
like that. Maybe 10, 20, like 15, 20, I think about. Colin Hanks. And if you pull up a picture of Colin Hanks, Kyle, you'll be like, holy crap, I've seen this guy in everything, right? He's also an actor. He's put together. There's a video of him talking about his brother from like 8 years ago. And apparently Chet back then was even more wild. That's your next rabbit hole, Kyle. Go down, look up old Chet Hank things. He's like taking pictures with guns, like
Oh, I've
he's
seen those.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's about that life. And then
Yeah.
Colin Hanks is the complete opposite. And it's like, what is like? It has to be so weird being a kid, either growing up in the limelight or spotlight, right, with all that money, having yes men around you, or being someone who like grown up and your mom or dad is super famous and they have a bunch of money, and you almost have to fill their shoes in a sense. But it's so wild, like,
Yeah.
because you could like, I'm assuming, for all intents and purposes, maybe not. Who knows what happened behind the scenes? But Colin Hanks and Chet Hanks, I assume they grew up in like this almost the same type of household, right?
Well, I think they have two different moms.
They do, right? Which could be a big factor. Who knows? But it's just they're so different. They are so very different, and it's just
Yeah.
amazing to see them turn out like that. But I think we talked about this too. I would love to see a documentary based off of childhood stars and maybe do psychological
Yes.
breakdowns, have them tell their stories of being a child, and so like someone could come down to a conclusion of like, and just maybe even this could help out future childhood stars and how they're treated, so that they don't have these mental breakdowns in life. Because it's sad to see. It's sad.
I agree.
Because even if you look at Justin Bieber, he's had it rough, and it's just it's interesting and sad to see. Oh my God, the worst one. Oh, the worst one. You ready for this? Remember That's So Raven?
Oh
Not
yeah,
Raven
that guy.
Simone, that guy that's in
Wow.
it. He has this thing where he's like, diamonds on the crevice of your female body part.
Oof.
And it's really weird. That video is super strange. He's got some stuff wrong with him too. But these are rabbit holes that I could go down all day long.
Same.
But besides that, video games, people. Video games. Because that's what we're all looking at right now when we're stuck home alone by ourselves. A lot of people play them, and right now they're having a super boom, and a lot of them weren't ready, as we could tell from this last week. Servers crashing left and right on a lot of the big video games. Fortnite, Call of Duty. I know those two definitely had server crashes a couple times, to say the least. And they
Yeah.
just weren't ready. But also, their numbers are up ginormously, right? Crazy amount of numbers. Doom may have the luckiest release in its history of video games, along with Animal Crossing, due to the fact that, yes, would they have done well? Of course. But now people are home, and people who may have not bought them because they didn't have time have the time and probably bought that game, right? So it's just like it's amazing to think about how some things, right? Maybe a TV show just finished getting produced right before all this outbreak and was able to be put out. A video game was just finished up and was released right before all this happened, and how for them, this is the luckiest thing that could happen, almost, in a weird sense, weird sixth sense, right? Because of the fact that it's probably going to help their numbers out so much, and so many people are going to play it. There's going to be exposure on it, because not only will they play it, but streamers will play it, and then people are going to watch it, and then maybe want to play it themselves, so on and so forth. That it's so crazy to see the two polar opposites of the spectrum, where some games might be delayed because they have no one to work on them, and then it just kind of screws that video game out, and they can't even release it. Maybe they run out of money to fund it, things like that. And then there's games that they just had the perfect timing in a weird sense, and it could change the way that game, the whole revenue was set up. So it's amazing to see that. And also, just looking at stream numbers right now, I don't know if you've checked any numbers, Kyle. Absolutely crazy.
I haven't yet.
Twitch, all day long, millions and millions of views. Like, concurrent viewers. Not in, like,
That's
one
awesome.
specific category, but, like, right now, I mean, let me pull it up again. Right before we came on, I was checking. And, like, I think the top 4 games had over 200,000 viewers.
Oh.
Which is, I mean, crazy numbers. Yeah, so right now, League of Legends has 350,000. Counter-Strike, 256,000. Call of Duty, 251,000. Fortnite, 233,000. Just Chatting, 202,000. Animal Crossing, 168,000. FIFA, 168,000. Grand Theft Auto, 144,000. Dota 2 with 103,000. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 categories with over 100,000 viewers. That is
Wow.
substantial, right? Like, that's crazy. And obviously, Mixer's numbers are lower, obviously, but for their platform, it's still very, they're a lot bigger than normal, all throughout the day, right? Like right now, we have a bunch of games over 1,000 mark, over 2,000 mark, and that's pretty crazy for a Saturday afternoon, when people are normally doing things. But this is like this all week, and the biggest thing takeaway from this is this is like this in the middle of the day, right? So a lot of time during the middle of the week, during the day, people aren't watching it because kids are at school, who are usually the viewer base. People are at work who may be watching it, right? And this is all day long. You're seeing these numbers, and it's such a big boost for probably people who are streaming, like me. I mean, I could say by myself, I've seen so much follower growth in my channel over the last week, and it's a lot of fun, right? People showing up. My numbers are a little bigger, and it's been awesome to see. It gives you that confidence boost. It's great. But my thing is, I want to talk about the long-lasting results of this, right? Along with kind of what we were saying before. Do you think this will win people over, right? Do you think this quarantine and being stuck at home, people might tend to watch it more, right? Maybe they never watched it before. They might dabble with it. And do you think it'll be enough time to get them hooked on this type of viewing stuff?
So I think the people that are going to watch, how do I put this? I think if you're someone who would watch streaming, then yes. Like if you're someone who's an avid gamer yourself, if you enjoy playing video games, we have a friend, Kyle, another Kyle, who is an avid video game player, who I believe watches story mode on YouTube for certain games that he's not going to be able to play. I think if someone was doing a let's play or a walkthrough of a game, live on their Twitch or whatever, I think that, or a Mixer, shout out Mixer, I think he'd be willing to watch that. I think that could be the boost. The people that are kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to swing people that would just never consume that type of content in general. Because I think that, like our one friend who plays with us sometimes on stream, Bubba, he said, he was like, I need something to do next week, and we were like, oh, you should get some movies to watch or some find some television shows. And he was like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably just going to waste time on my phone like I do all the time. Yeah. Some people are just like that, I think some people just don't consume content like you or I or a bunch of other people that are out there, and that's okay. Everyone does things differently.
There's probably always been people on the fence, right? Like me. Yeah. I mean, I've only been consuming type of like video game type content for so long. I mean, I always dabbled with kind of what we were just talking about, walkthroughs for games that I never wanted to play, but just watching streams was never my thing, right? And then Fortnite came out, and that's what kind of got me addicted to it, and now I love watching streams, even for games that I don't play necessarily. I just kind of like watching certain people or communities, right? And I wonder how many people were always on that line, and now that maybe their TV shows are running out, right? Maybe they don't have any more podcasts to listen to. Who might turn on and be like, hey, you know what? Let me see what this is all about. Find a game that they like and maybe start watching it, and they get some new fans, right? I'm very curious to see that. Like, if these numbers, after all this happens, if these numbers will be higher than what they were before.
You mean after all this kind of like dies down?
Yes, all this dies down. Everyone could go back to work and school and whatnot. I wonder if these numbers will be a little higher.
I don't know. That's
right, because like I mean, if it goes well for this community, that could be a thing, and I just getting more fans out of it because people have the time to watch. And I gotta say, the more time you invest in watching someone, the more connected you feel to them, especially in these mediums of podcasts and watching streams, because you get to really know the person, right?
yeah.
Because they're not scripted, they don't talk, like we just talk. So the more you listen to them talk, the more connected you feel, and then it's easier to go back and watch the stream, even if they're playing a game that you've never played, that might not be your type of thing, but just watch them playing it because it feels like you're watching your friend play it, listening to your friend talk, right? So I think the longer this goes on, in a sick way, the better it will be for the streaming market.
Yeah, it could be. I do think that obviously the day numbers will, decrease,
Yes,
but once this all kind of calms down. However, I do think that the amount of people that do consume the content could, in fact, benefit from this in a weird way. I don't know. I feel weird saying that, but that's
I know, and it feels sick to say, right? That anything will be good will come out of this, but for certain things, I think it will be good. Like as we know, one of our favorite comedians, Andrew Schultz, is putting out daily episodes of almost not a vlog, but like updates on the coronavirus, what we could do, kind of just talking about it for his situation, just so his community has something to rally behind, right? To keep them entertained. They're like little half-hour blurts. He puts them out, and that's it.
and it's something he kind of has to do because he's not touring right now.
Exactly, and for him, although it sounds sick, he's lost money from his tour, but he might be able to grow a fan base off of those little things, right?
Dude, it just clicked in my head right now that he's not going to do a special.
Yeah, he announced that on one of the things. It's really sad. Like, that's the crazy thing. That's another thing, right? So for people like him, this sucks. Worst timing ever. Delays the special. Obviously, they still have the deal inked, so I think that special will come out. It will be produced. That everything just had to be pushed back. But for people like some of my other favorite comedians, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Chris D'Elia, Bert Kreischer's special released on Monday, last Monday. Tom Segura's releases this Monday. Chris D'Elia's releases the Monday after. And what perfect timing, because everybody's home, they're going to blow up. Like, everyone has Netflix, basically. You can watch it. Bing, bang, boom. Who doesn't love a good stand-up special? So it's just so weird how, even in the same field, how some people are like, this is perfect timing, and other people are like, this is devastating my career.
Yeah.
And it really shows you a game of luck, right? Just the life of luck and how you could do everything right, but luck does play a part of it in life. And that's very interesting to see. But it's just kind of, that's all I have on it. It's just kind of crazy to see where this is going to go and where it's going to take us.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm not excited to see this happening, but I'm curious to see where this brings us.
I'm enamored by it, right? Because as you said, I'm not happy this is happening, but it has me so fascinated. I'm almost like every time there's a new update that comes out from like our governor released one today. They talk every day. I'm like so interested to see what it is. What's happening now? What are they going to do? How is this going to affect us? But it's also terrifying in a way. And it's just so weird to feel that utter, like, that thrill. And it's almost primal, man. I think it's almost like primal feelings that we're feeling because we've never had to really face this as humans, I guess. Well, most of us. The ones that I think we're probably talking to now who live in America or a first world-esque country, right? We don't really have to face these threats every day necessarily. So it's very, I think we're getting almost primal feelings out of it that we don't really understand. But it's very interesting to see where this is going to go and how it's going to affect the things that we love, like media and video games.
Yeah, and I mean, and above all else, I hope everyone out there, people who are listening, people who aren't listening, whatever, stay safe. I hope you don't get
Yes.
I hope you don't get sick. I hope none of us get sick. I hope, and I hope this blows over as quickly as possible.
Yes. Obviously, guys, I mean, you might say, who are these people if you're listening to this for the first time? But wash your hands, practice the social distancing, stay at home, consume content, right? Now's the time. Any shows that you want to watch, Kyle, any shows that you could recommend people that maybe they should check out if they haven't checked them out?
If you're into superhero shows, My Hero Academia is incredible. Even if you're not interested in superhero shows, if you're interested in one of these things, true consequential storytelling, good animation, good fight choreography, emotional writing, great character moments, even for subliminal characters. Check that show out. Hunters is awesome. I know John just watched that. He was
Yes.
a big fan of it as
Oh
well.
my God. Oh my! That's all I hear. This is you ready? Oh, also shout out Kyle, bro. Yo, you might be scrolling through Instagram, right? You might be scrolling through Instagram. You might, after you listen to this, maybe your phone picked it up that we talked about Hunters. You scrolling through Instagram, the Hunters Prime ad shows up, and the very first tweet up there is Pacino is back, baby, by our one and only Buff Charmander Kyle on the other end of this microphone. Oh man, it's so cool to see.
Yeah, that was a cool moment this week.
Getting some recognition out there. But yeah, Hunters, yo, literally only thing you need to know about it is, oh my God, watch it, right? Also, I don't know why Nazis are apparently a thing right now because there's an HBO show that just came out. I don't remember what it's called at all, but it's still premise the same thing, World War II-esque Nazi takeover type thing.
Whoa.
Which I was like crazy. I think it's because kind of like if the Nazis won or had influence on our culture, type of show. But apparently that's the thing right now.
Yeah, maybe. Also, Honey Boy, if you haven't watched that on Amazon Prime.
Oh God, I need to watch that
awesome.
too. Holy crap, there's so much content.
Yes. Just make sure taking it. Oh, and if I don't know if this movie really got as much recognition as it should have because it's pretty fun. Little Monsters on Hulu. Really fun movie starring Lupita Nyong'o. It's about zombies. Go watch it.
I'm so happy to have this list. Also, going back to My Hero Academia, because I know a lot of people, it's an anime, right? And a lot of people might see it and be like, "What? Like, I'm not an anime person."
Yeah, there's like a weird thing about anime.
You gotta push past it a little bit. Because I think that may have been my problem too. I'm like, I'm not a weeb. That's not who I am. I just don't like that, right?
No offense to weebs, right, John?
Yes, yeah, whatever. Weebs, sorry. Look, we're all sweaties, okay? I admittedly call myself a nerd on the daily, right?
Sure.
So I understand. I'm sweating right now talking about the things that I love. Also, my window's not open, so my room's hot.
Same here.
But if you push past it, one, you get used to it. And two, it like Kyle said, it's such a great storyline. I don't know how they do it, but they really make you feel. But just within watching a couple episodes, they really make you feel for the characters and build a connection already.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, definitely watch it. If you haven't watched The Office ever, make sure you watch that. Push past season 1. Watch season 1, but like you just gotta kind of grind through it, and then season 2 it gets great. If you haven't watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, some good shows right there. But yeah, start a list. If you have any recommendations, tweet at us, right? Anything that we haven't mentioned or watched or something that you think we should check out, be sure to let us know. and we can start a list somewhere, right? But as for that, that's all I have for today, Kyle.
Yeah, same here. Thanks everyone for listening. I hope again
Yes.
you're staying safe out there. We appreciate the support, especially during these times.
Yes.
Making content really does help pass the time. It's you know, it, it's something we love to do, and even if we're being able to provide anyone with uh, 10, 5, 20, 30 minutes of any sort of relief from this whole situation, we're happy to do so. Again, if you want to be more participatory now that you have more time with the pod, feel free to tweet at us. We're about to give you our social media handles.
Yes.
Comment on the YouTube page, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
We will definitely use uh, any suggestions or questions in the podcast going forward, like we always said that we would. So, John, where can people find you?
All right. So on Instagram at Ginger Gorilla Gaming, Twitter Ginger Gorilla, Mixer Ginger Gorilla, YouTube Ginger Gorilla Gaming. Right. Also, on all of those, I also just started a Discord, right? And one thing I think would
Yes,
be cool is if you are interested in this podcast and you're like, where can we talk about this? Kyle's in the Discord. And if we get enough participation out of it, maybe create one of the sections in Discord to talk about movie news or things like that so we can have an ongoing conversation
that'd be
for the things that
awesome.
we like. I think it would be really cool. So and any of those platforms or any of those socials I just said, you can click on my Linktree link and it will link you to the rest of them. And it will give you the invite to the Discord, so you could stop in there and we could have some cool conversations.
Absolutely. And you can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at Buff Charmander. You can find me on YouTube, Geeks Weekly. Remember, the day this is coming out on Monday, so today, my newest character analysis, which is a video that takes a lot more time than usual. So please, I put a lot of work into that one. It's on Superman. Make sure to check that out. Let me know your thoughts on it. And yeah, I think that'll do it for us here, right, John?
Sounds good, man. Everyone, thank you for listening and stay safe out there. Peace out, everybody.
See you soon.